Welcome, Scorpio. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your August meditation. This is occurring midway between the full moon in Aquarius on the 1st of August and the new moon in Leo about the 16th of August. So this is meant to be a meditation. In particular, I'm picking out the Venus in retrograde astrological aspect of most interest and significance to me. It symbolizes the way we take care of ourselves, our values, and how we invest in who we are. Also of critical significance is the moon's conjunction to Uranus at this time. It is both are in Taurus, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. So there's a way in which our consideration, our review about the story that has been told or we have told ourselves about who we are is stimulating our desire to heal in order to be able to make the changes we know are necessary in order to improve our lives and the world environment. So that this is the focus of this particular meditation. I welcome all of you who are here, whether you're new or returning to me. I move my readings according to the moon's lunations and use astrological information to stimulate the focus of readings. So let's get started, Scorpio, after that long preamble, with your overall energy for this meditation, the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is about this Venus retrograde motion. It's symbolizing the things that make you comfortable, make you feel stable and secure, your ability to hold on and even guard those things. These are things you've created, you've invested in as your foundation, as the platform from which you can build more wealth or abundance. You value your stability and security. You value your safety and protection. You also value security and comfort, even luxury. So you base your opinion about yourself on the things that you have, and that includes your values. But it is very based in your ability to take care of yourself and take care of your loved ones. And this is something that you are in deep consideration about, not only what that investment says about your values and who you are, but ways in which you want to grow and increase your abundance and your enjoyment of that abundance. That includes your physical body. So this is talking a lot about the way in which you get comfortable with your feelings and emotions and the story that they tell about the way in which you have information that validates what you do moving forward. That's productive. And what increases balance, harmony, and beauty in your life. In the position for the Sun, we have the Five of Swords. This is showing me that you are really considering what so many of us are considering as we look at this area of ourselves, our values, and the story that is told about us or that we tell about ourselves. And this is reflecting on a sense perhaps of inadequacy, perhaps not having enough, coming from a place where your efforts were invisible or not seen, perhaps not being given credit for the things that you do, not being valued or recognized or rewarded for your efforts, but instead being dismissed, being betrayed even by others who may appear to engage with you at one level and then tell a different story behind your back. This is a bit about sabotage, a bit about betrayal, a bit about the way that you may honestly invest in your loved ones, engage with them, participate, take care of them, and the way in which they may manipulate that care, that generosity, that attention that you give them into a story about how you're really not an okay person, how you're really a sad person, or you may be a dishonest person, or you may be a not very smart person, as a way of deflecting their fear because you are so awesome, because you are so capable, because you are so thoughtlessly generous, unsparingly supportive, in a way that perhaps makes them feel inadequate or small in your presence. So in a way, this is one of many possible scenarios. But what I'm picking up on from my own experience is the way that people use this acceptance of your kindness, your generosity, your truthfulness as a way to make themselves feel better and bigger by making you appear small, naive, gullible, not very smart. That is part of what you may be processing during this Venus retrograde time, is the reality of that experience. In the position for your moon, we have the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is, in fact, you learning to stand up for your truth. You learning to speak up about the truth of the manipulations that may have occurred around you, the way that you've learned from your own experience how you are actually an expert in your zone, in your area of desire and growth, in your area of talent or skill, that you have learned that this is an area of yours, and as a result of really carving out, really owning these talents, these gifts, these experiences, this expertise you have learned to set clearer boundaries. You are learning to set clearer boundaries. In fact, that may be much of the theme of this particular month of August for you at an emotional level, at a deeply unconscious level. In so doing, you are liberating yourself by being very clear about where you invest your time and energy, recognizing that many of the relationships that you had taken some responsibility for, where you felt there was a real reciprocity of love and care, you've learned that perhaps the contrary was actually true and has been true for a long time. You just didn't see it because you actually at some level believed the story that was being told about you to your back. And this can be about the family, your family you were born into, formative experiences, things you couldn't control that encouraged you to trust in these relationships and believe that they were reciprocal and loving, when in fact they have not been so for a very long time. But because you've learned to speak your truth, to know your truth, whether you speak it directly or not, you are cutting those kinds of relationships, affiliations, alliances out of your life. You are no longer investing your faith, your trust, your belief in those relationships or the truthfulness or trustworthiness of them. In your present, we have the Four of Cups. And this is really repeating a similar theme, only now where you have built up a foundation of your practical and material resources and skills, you are now receiving a recognition of this new cultural, spiritual, or emotional foundation in your life. This new foundation means in many ways that I give myself permission to be loving, to be smart, to pursue the things I know are best for me without first deferring to what someone else believes is right for me, or without the false belief that someone else can give me something I haven't given myself. And in this case, it is your recognition that you deserve respect, you deserve honesty, you deserve a positive regard for the positive contribution you have made in relationships and projects, that you are now giving yourself permission to be abundant, to pursue your dreams, to know that you are more than capable of your dreams and visions, and that you don't require anyone else to give you things that you can get for yourself. And part of the delusion you're releasing is this idea that someone else can save me, someone else can provide me with the key to my happiness, my wholeness. And because of this realization of your own ability to give yourself whatever it is you need, you have recognized how much you have grown, how much you have progressed, how much you have learned to be comfortable with who you are, to be comfortable in your own ability to pursue what you want, and the gratification and satisfaction that you gain from that alone is immense. It's putting you in a whole different place where you're understanding that, in fact, if you're receiving something or being offered something that doesn't match your present need or desire now, that you can manifest something else that does. In the past, we have the Tower card. And the Tower, for me, is pointing to some very clear disruptions in the way that your relationships, your pursuit of certain goals and desires has proceeded along. Something broke the story apart. There was a separation. There was a sudden change that may have distressed this relationship. You may have broken up from familiar relationships or relationships you believe you desired, or in this case, relationships that validated you believed for the person and the story you wanted to believe. Having had that validation removed through a sudden change, a separation, a breakup, you've actually come to realize and see the truth of those relationships. That if I could be separated from someone who supported me, who loved me, who cheered me on, and in the absence of that person, all of that was gone, then maybe it was never there in the first place. And as a result of that, looking more critically at the experiences you have had and recognize that that relationship, the structure of that relationship, particularly if it's intimates, family members, work colleagues, peers, even friends, then that friendship was never really grounded in the way that I believed it was. It was never built firmly. And once it has been destroyed or disrupted, you've been able to see, as is characteristic with the Tower card, the truth. The intervention was the truth. And now you are in a position to consider the experience and recognize the truth of your own power, your own worthiness and deservedness of the more that you desire. In the future, we have Temperance, and this is beautiful. The Tower and the Temperance, for me, resonate beautifully because the Temperance is showing that you have been looking to balance your inner resources and your outer resources to heal your life experience for a while. And it is through the intervention that has occurred in the past, the disruption you experience, the unpredictable or unexpected response that you receive from others that has helped you to see the truth of your own powerfulness. This is about you reconstructing, healing this environment, healing this imbalance in a way that allows you to take responsibility for your participation in this imbalance in the past. You participated in the story. It existed for such a long time, particularly if it's a function of familial relationships, because at some level you believed it. At some level you were made to feel small and you believed in that smallness. It may have been a function of guilt. It may have been a function of wanting to protect or wanting to support others, believing falsely that at some level they were loving and protecting you. But now that you have moved away from that insular environment, through this disruption in the past, through this separation, you have come to understand that you don't need a broker for your power. You don't need a broker for your abundance or your desire to move on to better and a better environment, a more productive and joyful environment for yourself. And seeing and understanding this dynamic that has been very hurtful, very damaging to you in the past, you are understanding and experiencing a sense of real vision about your interface with the world, your positive ability to impact the world that is no longer held back from you through this story about poor, pitiful you. I hope this is making sense so far. I'm going to clarify the Four of Cups in the present with the Eight of Swords and the Five of Cups. Yes, this has hurt you deeply. In some ways, this dynamic has played into your consideration, consistent with Venus's retrograde. And by the way, there are at least 3 other major planets that are retrograding right now, with the exception of Uranus, and Chiron, an asteroid, is also retrograde. So this is really underlying the theme of healing, the way you're taking on your healing journey, because all the guidance in the world is not what gets you healed. What gets you healed is the hard work that you do in taking responsibilities, looking truthfully at your circumstance, at your patterns, being honest and facing those patterns and actions of your own, those behaviors that have participated in the failures, the disappointments, the heartbreaks that you have sustained. And your multiple considerations, your worry, your anxiety about your present ability to move forward, to give yourself the things that you once believed others could give you, others were giving you. This has allowed your thoughts to run like a train wreck. I can imagine you are consumed with worry, reviewing various events in the past, various ideas and actions you thought that you shared with others, truths, values you believed that you were compatible with others around, the expenditure of real care, love, the offers of love you made to others that were rejected, the feeling of being excluded from certain groups or friendships has definitely drained you and is causing you a sense of anxiety. How can I move forward with all the things that have occurred to me, with all the ways that I was undermined, with in many ways without me really being truthful with myself about those experiences? My feeling is that you knew a lot of this or felt a lot of this reserve, caution, discomfort, awkwardness in these relationships in various settings, but you always found a way to rationalize why you were supported and supported this person that you loved or these people that you believed supported you. This releasing the feelings of grief, remorse, even regret, is a positive surrender for you. And although it may be consuming a lot of energy, you may be simply reliving a righteous sense of anger that you feel towards these individuals. Releasing these feelings is the most positive way to get through them. Your thoughts have been rehearsed over and over again. You've overthought this situation or these sad relationships to the point where it has taken you out of your ability to move forward positively, to move forward with your, to honor your skills, your energy, your productivity. And now you are aware that the only course forward for yourself is to reconnect with yourself, to reinvigorate your relationship with your higher self. And that is the part of you that knows who you are, that knows what you're capable of, that has a vision that is unique to you, that is grateful and appreciative for your ability to align deeply and to revive your dreams moving forward. I hope this has resonated for you, Scorpio. It may have seemed a little specific, but if you have found value, please like and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. And I'm going to pull you a Divine Crystal card. And I believe this is aquamarine that has flipped out in sapphire. So unfortunately, these photos are not as sparkling and as some others, but I'm going to read the text of this card as an oracle. What it is, often blue but sometimes pink or yellow sapphire, like ruby, is a variety of the mineral corundum with its peacemaking force field of sparkle energy. Sapphire protects the vulnerable and squishy stuff inside from judgmental people and their unsolicited BS. Who needs it? Students of ancient wisdom. Where to put it? On your right middle finger, the finger of Saturn, Sapphire's associated planet. When to use it? When sentiments are doing more damage to you than to those you're holding them against. When resentments are doing more damage to you than those you're holding them against. Enlist Sapphire to call forth that old soul that resides within, i.e. the wisest part of you, who couldn't possibly care less about what anyone else thinks of you. The mantra, find your tranquil place. Thank you so much, Scorpio. Until next time, namaste.